ثم أما بعد. Explanation of the book Al-Aqidah Al-Wasityyiah by Shaykh Al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala. When we're still in the discussion where the author rahimahullah, he said وَلَا يُلْحِدُونَ فِي أَسْمَاءِ اللَّهِ وَآيَاتِهِ, and they do not deviate away in regards to his names and his signs and verses, meaning Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the saved and victorious sect, the followers of the righteous predecessors, that they do not deviate, they do not go astray in regards to the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nor in regards to the verses and signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And from this we come to know that there are two types of deviations, or there are different types of deviations in regards to what one must believe in. From them is to deviate and go astray in regards to the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has affirmed, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا, and to Allah are the beautiful and perfect and complete names, so supplicate to Him with them. وَذَرُوا الَّذِينَ يُلْحِدُونَ فِي أَسْمَائِهِ, and stay away and leave alone those who go astray in regards to His names. سَيُجْزَوْنَ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, they will be recompensed for that which they used to do. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala affirmed that there are those who go astray in regards to the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And likewise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُلْحِدُونَ فِي آيَاتِنَا لَا يَخْفَوْنَ عَلَيْنَا, indeed those who go astray in regards to our signs and verses, in regards to our ayat, they are not hidden away from us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala affirmed that there are people who go astray in regards to the ayat, to the signs and verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in regards to the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, going astray in regards to the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then it is to go away from that which one must be upon in regards to the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there are different types of going astray in regards to the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From them is to name Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with things that He did not name Himself, such as some of the philosophers, they name Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with names that He did not name Himself, such as they say, for example, the mind that controls the universe, or the cause of everything that happens in the universe. And other than that, they name Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with names. And we are not talking about describing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala controls the universe. No, this is not what is meant. But rather the naming Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with certain names. And what is more clear is, for example, what the Christians name Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They call Him the Father. They say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Father. They name Him the Father. And then they say that Isa, Jesus, the son of Mary, alayhi salam, may the peace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon him, that they call Him the Son. And this is a type of deviation and going astray in regards to the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anyone who names Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a name that He did not name Himself, then he has gone astray in regards to the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the reason for that is that the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are based upon proofs and evidences from the Quran and the authentic Sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we cannot affirm to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anything in regards to His names or attributes, for that matter, that He did not affirm to Himself. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not name Himself with a specific name, and one goes and names Him with that name, then he would have gone astray in regards to strayed in regards to that name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He named Himself. And also we should understand and realize that naming Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a name that He did not name Himself with is a form of disrespect of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a form of disrespect, because if someone goes and starts calling you with a name that is not yours, and one starts naming you and calling you with a name that is not yours, then you consider him to be disrespecting you. And if you name Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is in regards to the creation. How about the Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It is more so. So if one names Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a name that He did not name Himself, then there is no doubt that it is a form of disrespect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So one is not allowed, and it is not proper for one to name Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with that which He did not name Himself with. And if one does so, then he would have strayed, and he would have deviated and gone astray in regards to the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another type of misguidance in regards to the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to deny anything from His names, which is the opposite of the previous one. So the first one that we mentioned, the first type, is that one names Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a name that He did not name Himself with. And the second type is to deny the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, either all the names or a specific name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whether he denies all of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or some of them, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala affirmed to Himself in His book or in the authentic sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One who denies them all or denies any of them would have gone astray in regards to the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the reason for that is that since Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala affirmed to Himself those names, it is obligatory upon us to affirm them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to Himself. And if we deny them, then we would be going astray in regards to the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And some of the people, they deny the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some of the groups, they deny the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, such as Al-Jahmiyyah. Al-Jahmiyyah, they deny the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have any names. Why is that so? In their claim, and of course it is a falsehood and it is wrong, but in their claim that if one goes to name Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to describe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has names, then one would be claiming that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like the creation, because the creation have names. And they say if one affirms to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala names, then he would be sending a likeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His creation. And there is no doubt that this is a false statement. And rather, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala affirmed that He has names. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى, and to Allah are the beautiful names. فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا, so supplicate to Him with them, or worship Him with them, with His names, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then the third type of deviation in regards to the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to deny that which the attributes in those names. So they say that those are names that have no attributes, such as, for example, they say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is as-Sami', the all-hearing, but He does not hear. Wal-Alim, that He is the all-knowing, but He does not know, He has no knowledge. And that He is the Al-Khaliq, the creator, but He does not create. And the Al-Qadir, the one with might and ability, but He has no might and no ability and no power, and so on and so forth. So they affirm the names, but they say those are names without attributes. And this is one of the statements of Al-Mu'tazila. And this, of course, cannot be comprehended, cannot be understood. And this goes against the sound intellect. So they make the names as they are, they claim, and of course there are two types of statements by them. One of them, they say those are different names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they have no meanings. They have no meanings. So they say all of those names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they have no meanings, and they affirm no attributes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala based on His names. So they say He is Sami'un bila Sama'. He is the all-hearing without hearing, really. And He is the all-seeing without seeing, and so on and so forth. And some of them, they say that all of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are in reality one thing. They are one name, but there's just a difference in the way you say them. And they say their only difference is the way the letters are arranged and the words are arranged, but they are one thing. And this also cannot be understood. It cannot be comprehended in reality. Sound mind rejects this statement, and it actually sound mind does not accept it. And we find that this is the case because it is based upon philosophy and based upon speech and philosophy, and it has no reality. It's not based upon proofs from the Quran or the Sunnah, and it is not even based upon sound intellect and sound mind. So it comes from philosophy, and we find that usually when things come from philosophy and from one's ill mind, from people's ill minds, that you find that they contradict each other and they say statements that have no meanings and that they cannot be comprehended and understood. And this is similar. This reminds us of the statement of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahimahullah when he had his debate with Ahmad ibn Abi Du'ad. in the presence of Al-Ma'mun. He had a long debate with him, and it is all mentioned. He mentioned his debate with him. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, he mentioned what the discussion that went on. And as part of it, you find that Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahimahullah, he says, and then he said things that I did not understand. And he said that several times, meaning Ahmad bin Abi Du'ad, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, Imam Ahlul Sunnah, rahimahullah, the Imam of Ahlul Sunnah, he says, and then he said, meaning Ahmad bin Abi Du'ad, said things that I could not understand. Why? Because he is speaking out of philosophy, not based upon the Quran and the Sunnah, and rather based upon philosophy and philosophical theories and things of that nature, which Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahimahullah did not know. He could not understand. So many of these things that we will come through bi'idhnillahi ta'ala as we speak about the statements of the people of falsehood, we will find bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, we will find that it is sound mind rejects it, and it does not even comprehend it. It cannot understand what is meant by this. What is this speech? The names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are names, but they do not have attributes, but they are all the same name, except the letters are arranged differently. What is this speech? What is this discussion? It does not even make sense. Wallahu musta'an. Inshallah, we will talk more about this point in the next class if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا